Alexander the Great. I mean, just hearing the name, right? It conjures up these epic images of massive battles, unbelievable victories, and an empire that stretched across the ancient world. But behind that legend is the story of a true phenomenon. So that's the big question, isn't it? How did one person, a king from the relatively small Greek state of Macedonia, manage to conquer pretty much the entire known world? And, get this, never lose a single battle. That's the puzzle that has fascinated people for literally centuries. To really understand Alexander, we have to go back, way back, actually, before he was even born. You see, his story doesn't really begin with a birth. It begins with a promise, a deep, burning desire for revenge. A couple of generations before Alexander's time, the mighty Persian Empire had invaded Greece, and they left a scar, a deep one. They burned temples, they destroyed cities, and they left this simmering resentment in the hearts of every Greek. It created this collective drive for payback, just waiting for the right leader to come along. So, who was this leader gonna be? Well, Alexander wasn't just raised to be a king. He was practically forged. He was shaped by three incredibly powerful forces that turned him into something, well, something more than just human. So check this out. First, you've got his mother, Olympias. She constantly told him he wasn't just the son of a king, but the son of the god Zeus himself. Talk about pressure. Then you have his father, King Philip, who was an absolute military genius and taught Alexander everything he knew about war. And if that wasn't enough, his personal tutor was Aristotle. Yes, the Aristotle, who taught him philosophy, science, and maybe most importantly, the art of diplomacy. And you could see this amazing combination of divine confidence and sharp intellect from a super young age. There's this legendary story about him as a boy. He tames this wild horse, Bucephalus, that no one else could get near. And he didn't do it with force. He just noticed the horse was afraid of its own shadow. So he calmly turned the horse towards the sun. And that was it. He won a loyal companion that would carry him across the world. So, with this incredible foundation, Alexander was ready. He was ready to take on the world. And his first target, the Persian Empire, the sworn enemy of all Greeks. The only problem was the odds were completely, totally stacked against him. This all comes to a head at the Battle of Gaugamela. This is the ultimate showdown. On one side, you've got Alexander's small, disciplined, battle-hardened Greek army. And on the other, you have the gigantic, multinational force of the Persian Empire, led by King Darius III. I mean, this is David versus Goliath on a scale that's hard to even imagine. Just look at the numbers here. It's insane. Alexander has around 47,000 soldiers. The Persians, well over 100,000, maybe way more. For any other commander in history, this would have been a suicide mission. But Alexander didn't see a problem. He saw an opportunity. His strategy here was just pure psychological brilliance. First, he used his flank as bait, kind of pretending to retreat to draw the huge Persian line forward. As the Persians charged ahead, thinking they had him, a gap opened right in their center. And that was the moment. Alexander led his elite cavalry in one of the most famous charges in history, straight through that gap with one target in mind, King Darius himself. And imagine being Darius. You see this unstoppable force heading right for you. He panicked. He turned his chariot and fled. And the moment the king ran, his army's morale just shattered. The entire Persian Empire crumbled in a single day. The promise of revenge was fulfilled, and at just 25 years old, Alexander was the new, undisputed master of Asia. But you know, beating an army is one thing. Actually ruling a massive, diverse empire, that's a whole different ballgame. And this is where the lessons from Aristotle, his true genius, really came into play. Instead of ruling with an iron fist, he decided to win the peace. He started adopting local Persian customs. He kept local governors in their jobs. He even married the daughter of Darius, his dead enemy. Then, he took all the wealth he'd conquered and pumped it back into the local economies, stimulating trade. This was totally revolutionary. He got it. He understood that real, lasting power isn't built on fear. It's built on loyalty. He wasn't creating an empire of conquered subjects. He was trying to build an empire of partners. So, after securing Persia, Alexander's ambition just kept pushing him further and further east towards the legendary riches of India. And it's here that he would face his most difficult battle and truly seal his undefeated legacy forever. So in India, he runs into a king named Porus, a warrior who absolutely refused to back down. The battle was brutal, probably the hardest fight of Alexander's entire career. And even though Alexander eventually won, he was so impressed by Porus's courage that he did something unheard of. He gave Porus his kingdom back, and then added even more land to it. But soon after this amazing moment, tragedy struck. In 323 BCE, Alexander gets back to Babylon. Within days, he's hit by a sudden, mysterious fever, and he dies. He was only 32 years old. And then, in a final strange twist, his body apparently showed no signs of decay for 6 whole days, which just added to the whole myth that he was a god. But what if the truth is something else, something even more tragic? Modern historians have a theory that Alexander might have suffered a stroke that caused a kind of total paralysis. His breathing could have become so slow and faint that the ancient doctors, who basically just checked for breath, declared him dead while he was actually still alive, trapped in his own body. Even with his life cut so tragically short, his impact on the world is, well, it's immeasurable. By blending Greek and Eastern cultures, he kicked off a whole new era called the Hellenistic world. The trade routes he opened became the lifeblood of a new global economy. He founded over 70 cities, and his military strategies, they're still required reading at military academies all over the world today. And this right here, might be his ultimate legacy. To this very day in India and Pakistan, there's a famous saying, "Jo jeeta wohi Sikandar." It means, he who wins is Alexander. 2,000 years later, his name isn't just a name, it's literally the definition of a winner.